What up, y'all? This is Decode Dating, and this is Double Standards. We play on different levels. So, double standards is basically something that we like to call differences. Men and women are different, as we all know. We have different parts, different brain structures, different bone density. We are completely different. We are all humans, but we are different. Now, the thing is, a lot of people tend to get upset with double standards, but that's just how things are, unfortunately. So, double standards give a unique insight on the differences of what each gender goes through. For instance, I'm a man. I don't have certain things a woman has as far as body parts. Like, I can't produce children. I give the seed to produce the children, but I can't produce the children. The baby grows in the womb. Now, that's the unity part of everything. But what separates us is clearly the double standards, right? So, one example of a double standard I would say is that sometimes ruffles women's feathers, or women cannot sleep around as much as men can. For instance, a woman in the dating market, if she wanted to sleep with 20 guys within a month, she can easily do that without breaking a sweat. She just goes on the dating app, goes outside to the club, even just goes to the grocery store and basically go approach a guy that she finds attractive and say, hey, you want to meet up later tonight? And boom, she can easily smash. Now, for a man, for me, it's going to be a lot harder. Men know this, and men have to deal with this daily. We can't go to the club, the grocery store, or a dating app and get easy access unless we are valuable in the dating market. We're not, we're average Joes at best, right? We're not Chris Brown, we're not Drake, we're not Trey Songz, we're not any actor who's up there in status and finances. So for us to go out and try to pull off how a girl would pull it off, it's not going to happen. 9 out of 10 times, I would say 9.5 out of 10 times, it's just not going to happen. Now, have I been in a situation where a girl I was attracted to wanted to smash me on the first day I met her? Yes. But I am 6'3", 235 pounds. I could get away with a lot more than regular average dudes. Now, women get upset about this because they say if a man can, why can't I? Now, realistically speaking, most women do not want to sleep around with multiple men. They know deep down it is disgusting, and it shows that you are not responsible when it comes to your mate selection. Because you're risking a lot sleeping with random men. The most thing you're risking, besides STD and STIs, you're risking yourself to be impregnated by one of these men. Now, if you do get pregnant from one of these men, you know that it's your child, but the man don't know which one is the father, right? So this is why women can't. Well, you can. Don't say you can't. You can, but you're gonna be judged very badly for doing those type of choices. To each their own. Do I suggest women not do that? Of course I don't. Are they gonna do that? Yes, they are. This is the world we live in. People do what they want. Us men don't get the same opportunities as women do when it comes to sleeping around, right? So for men, it's the complete opposite. If we don't build our value, like I said before, and make something of ourselves, we're not gonna get as much women as we would like. So yeah, that's one double standard. I think that's the biggest double standard when it comes to the dating market, because women tend to get mad that men sleep around with a lot of women. But I always say the man sleeping with a lot of women, especially if the women are very attractive, he is doing something right for the woman to want to sleep with him. Don't get mad, ladies, that happens, and men don't get mad at women for judging you for that. That's just how it is, unfortunately. Another thing, I would say the opposite of men, is men get judged on their financial status. Now, it's unfortunate that we have to have some type of resources for women to stay attracted to us. But if you think about it, the only reason why it's set up like that, because if your lady or woman, whoever, was supposed to get pregnant, you need to make sure you have your resources in order so you could take care of her and the offspring, which is your child. Now, any smart man would understand that hey, when I go into the dating market, I have to be of value to that woman to make her stay long term. Now, if you have a short term relationship, you don't have to have as much money. You could, do what you want as far as trying to hustle on the side. But when it comes down to a long term relationship, you want to make sure you have your finance in order. That's a double standard. Women don't have to worry about their financial status as much as men, but today's the society, it's more frowned upon women if they don't have college education or, you know, money like a man. It's more egalitarian mindset now that women want to basically compete in men's money, So that's one thing that it's a double standard for men. We do get judged on our financial status. How can we provide? Because women don't really have to do that. Can there be an exception to the rule where a woman has more money than a guy and she's in a relationship with him? Yes. Do I think that's smart for the man? No, because at any given time, she really kind of dictates term. And I usually say women don't want a man lower than them. They want to look up at the man. So another double standard I like to say for women is that they do unfortunately get judged on their age. In the dating market, I'm not saying you're unvaluable in your own individual life as far as what you're bringing to society. I'm saying in the dating market, as a woman of age, it is bad the older you are because men value youth, beauty, and fertility. And I've said this in my previous video that men want younger women. Now, like I said before, there's always exceptions to the rule, but I like to speak on the majority. So in the dating market, men typically like women who are younger, 18 to 25, because that's in their prime. Now, I'm not trying to say, oh, men are being creeps or whatever and stuff like that, because the man could be 25 wanting an 18-year-old. It just all depends on that guy's preference or the woman's preference. But women do get judged on their age, not as much as men. They also look at women for if you're 40 and you don't have no kids and you're not married, you do get judged from a societal standpoint. Now, for men, we have more time on our side. Our biological clock, this is not as hasty as for a woman. Men usually get their financial stride in their late 30s, early 40s, and sometimes 50s. That's just how it is. Usually, men in their 20s are working to build themselves. They don't have a lot of women, in their vicinity. It's different for women because you guys are born with your value. Us men are not. We have to create our value. That's another double standard. For men, another double standard is we can't be vulnerable. We are judged on our emotional stability. If we are overly emotional, see, that's a difference. You can be vulnerable as a man, but just don't be overly emotional. Men are judged on their stoicism, how they conduct themselves, their characteristics. Now, if you're a type of man who is crying all the time because stuff is not going your way, you will be judged, you will be called weak, and that's not a good look. So I'm even judging you right now for saying this, but this is the double standards and this is the different levels that there are with the double standards. Women are allowed to be emotional, they're allowed to cry, even if this is a perfect example for men getting online, like Tyrese, for instance, and crying about his daughter, that he can't see his daughter or whatever, and people clowned him. Why are you getting online and crying? This, down the third, what are you supposed to do about it? Now, if you flip it vice versa, a woman gets online crying, saying she can't see her kids or daughter or whatever, there will be so much people in the comments, don't worry, we love you, you have support, let's start a GoFundMe, and a whole bunch of stuff. Men don't get that like women do, and that's another double standard. I just like explaining the differences, and the next topic is once people start understanding the difference in the genders, dating will be so much easier. A lot of men, I would say, do get mad at women like, oh, why do men have to be providers? This is another way to look at it. As you grew up as a little boy, and say you had a two-parent household, and you seen your dad providing, going to work, coming home, your mom had the food on the table at 7, and your dad got home at 5, and you guys sat and had family time. The same way you see your dad provide for your mom, and your mom had a much easier life, and you see the value she had for being at home, and you seeing the value your dad had by going outside and working, that instills in your brain, and that makes you say, hey, I want to do the same thing because I see that works. you know um Men now don't want to be providers. They think it's a competitive thing. Oh, I don't want to do that. But I always say, make sure you vet the woman, find a woman who's worthy of it. And like, I believe not every woman is deserving of a provider, just like how I believe not every man is deserving of a traditional woman. So that is the main focus. We are two different individuals in gender that when we come together, we make it a lot better. There's unity, there's the yin to the yang, and it makes everything flow. Um, Double standards are a part of the world. That's just plain and simple. There's no way around it. You can't escape it. You could try to put a new name to it and try to spin it how you want, but there's a lot of differences. We play on different levels. Um, I personally went through a time in my life where I was like, oh, I see my friends who are shorter than me, and I'm like, damn, a lot of girls are dubbing him, but they're not dubbing me because I'm taller. But then you flip the script, I'll be around dudes who have more money than me. I'm like, damn, they dubbing me and going to him. I use that as fuel to understand that if I want to be in a better position, I have to better myself. I don't want men to look at this and hate on each other. I don't want women to look at this and hate on each other. I want them to understand that, hey, I might be different, but I can build on this in my life to make my life more better, to, well, I can't say more better for me to find the person that I really want. And then it'll be easier. Once you understand the differences between each other, your life will be a lot easier.